like to have a little motivational music to get things going with these things. And so, welcome back if you've been here before, and welcome if you're new. My name is Shauna Mayfield, and I am a biofield tuning practitioner. You can find me at theraphase.biofieldtuning.com. Today, I'm jumping on to talk about something that came up while I was opening up the Akashic Records on me in my Biofield. And so I wanted to share that with you. I did do an audio recording. I often do that when I'm out on a walk. Just even if I'm not going to share it, I go back and listen, and because I pick up on so much information, it's really hard to keep it all in my mind and my memory. I used to carry a journal and write, but that's very time consuming, and I was so pleased when I finally got over the awkwardness of hearing my voice being recorded and talking to myself. But anyway, so that's what I did today. I opened up the records and did a reading on my energy and what's going on with the energetic imbalances that are happening. I've been feeling some tingling sensations in my left shin for quite some time, and I'm starting to wonder if it's related to something deeper, what's going on there. And just in general, it's interesting to go through the energy centers with the records open. I've done it once before, and it's always fascinating what comes through. It's so much different than if we were just gonna. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. I guess that's why I'm sharing this, is because it's different. It's sort of unique. I'm kind of like that. I tend to take things that I learn, like tuning and Akashic Records, and integrate things together and play with the fusion, and just I'm very curious in the exploration of it all. And so I think that's something people should consider, is that a lot of what we know today about energy medicine and lots of things is based on, even in the sciences, are based on our curiosity and willingness to ask questions and go into the unknown and explore. And so that's what I'm doing with biofield tuning and Akashic Records, inquiry, and lots of other things. Biofield tuning, I just recently did a workshop with a shamanic practitioner, and we created a beautiful integration of tuning fork sounds and drumming and chimes. And then I was able to help them relax with the tuning and work on the biofield while he took them into this beautiful journey. And we're going to be bringing some more of that kind of stuff to the world, and super excited. So for today, though, I wanted to share that with the Akashic Records. What did we get into? I'm going to probably put the recording in here also so you can hear that. But essentially, this reading got into my left knee pretty intensely. And that is what I want to tune now, that there has been an awareness brought to this place in my biofield that is very deep. It actually took me way back, and it's crazy how stuff actually can influence this present life and everything from such long ago. The cellular memory, the genetic, however that works, the Akash, the imprint, and this ability to now bring it to the surface and have a awareness of it and consciousness so that you can recognize patterns of imbalance that are keeping you out of alignment of what you're really here to do, all stuck in energy. Everybody's working through this stuff. That's why I love what I do. Biofield tuning is just one method, one tool. But so yeah, the knees, what it brought up was the pattern of hesitation. And it took me back in the records to a place where it was so ancient in even the Earth's history. And there was a moment where I'm kind of looking at Earth and going, I don't know about this place. So the hesitation frequency went all the way back to before time, almost, or before, the origins of humanity, of people evolving on the planet. Whoa. So that's why I want to get into tuning. And I want to look in deeper to my left knee and see what's going on there. How to clear these patterns up. It brought up memories of when I was a kid and just how I am in general in life. And there's this glitch of hesitation where and that is the signature of the left knee, is like staying in the safe of what Eileen calls it the devil. I'm going to read from the book here in a second, but it's just the comfort and the safetyness of, I don't know if I want to reach out there. It's like, just stay here. So if you relate to that, then this is for you today, okay? If you're not that type, then maybe it would be interesting anyway. But I'm going to share with you from Eileen's works, her book, the most recent one, Electric Body, Electric Health. And she has a section in here about knees and how they are all about getting unstuck the knees. I'll read to you a portion of this. What I discovered over time was that the information in the knees seemed to reveal the degree of inner and outer freedom a person was experiencing in their lives. With strong and healthy knees, we are free to follow our natural inclinations. We move and act spontaneously. The healthy tone of the knees is so relaxed and confident. It's an easygoing, fluid power with an almost serpentine and sensual feel to it. Think about the graceful movements of a downhill skier or snowboarder. That's the power and agility of the knees. In traditional yogic practices, there's a huge emphasis on knee mobility. Think lotus pose. To free their minds, ancient yogic masters engaged in vigorous training to open up and extend the range of motion of their knees. When our knees are free, we can use them to direct ourselves, this, that, and the other way. We move our bodies and lives in the direction that our spirit is pointing us at the appropriate speed for ourselves and our present needs. We are able to engage in what I call spontaneous appropriate action. What that looks like is allowing yourself to be moved in the moment. The universe moves through us. It's almost like dancing. You're moving through life, responding to the music and movements of other dancers, rather than repeating the same old stories and knee-jerk emotional reactions rooted in past experiences and traumas. You're able to progress in your life with trust, without needing to control or overplan the future. You flow freely with the current of life. Spontaneous appropriate action is about improvising rather than needing to follow a script. Improvising, like what I'm doing right now. That spontaneity often moves us toward play, lightness, and creative expression. The blocked or imbalanced expression of the knees is stuckness, the opposite of freedom and spontaneity. When the energy of the knees isn't flowing, we can't seem to do what we need to do to get where we're trying to go in our lives. So on the right knee, I find obstacles or challenges moving forward, while the left knee contains information related to trust around letting go of the devil you know versus staying in habits and situations that we would be better off growing out of. She even gets into the backs of the knees. The backs of the knees hold issues relating to clarity and certainty. When people swell up in the backs of their knees, it's usually an indication that they are stuck in uncertainty about something, not knowing if they should go this way or that way. I mean, this is so fascinating. Honestly, I've read her books, both of them, a few times, and I always learn something new when I open them up, and just a wealth of information. So there you go. On the left side, which is what I'm working on today, it's about attachments and letting go of what's familiar to embrace something new. Okay, I feel like I really just want to listen. And that's a lot of what this tuning is all about, is being able to quiet your mind, the chatter, and start feeling into your body and sensing energy of what's happening there. And it's about your attention, how much attention you give to what you're trying to focus on. But if your thoughts are like, man, this girl, this lady's boring, I'm gonna tune out, you're not gonna get much out of tuning. But if you practice allowing yourself to really breathe, sense your breathing, your heart rate, and just letting your consciousness rest inside the body. It's different. It feels kind of different. I think most people are somewhere else, oftentimes, even me. You know, it's not like I'm immune, but the tuning is helping me realize that, and helps me go, come back to the moment. So I'll invite you to take a deep breath with me. We're just starting to open up to what we notice. Start really elongating your breath. Letting your awareness sink down into your heart. Sinking down, relaxing your diaphragm. We always want to make sure we're connected to the ground when we work with the electric body. So with the next inhale, imagine and sense and notice how you can draw up negative charge from the earth and pull that through your body all the way out the top of your head. And as you inhale again, we're going to connect with positive charge and draw that in through the ground. Let it come all the way down at the bottoms of your feet. And just send that grounding root down into the core of the earth. Just plant it there. Make sure you're tapped all the way in, sensing that centered position. Kind of let your spine align with that. So I am not gonna, I could spend a lot of time doing that, just the grounding alone and connecting to those points in the biofield, the Earth star and Sun star. But for this one, I'm gonna go straight into the knee because I'm ready to get in there. And so I'm gonna invite you to also do the same and just let your attention stay focused in the body. It doesn't have to stay on the knee necessarily, but continue to ask yourself what you're noticing as we bring stuff up. So it's just giving me this image. What's it? My biofield. That is interacting with the universal energy field. And so the visual is of getting kicked in the knee, like somebody walking along and just boom, throws you totally off balance. You drop your stuff on the ground. And then there's just the shock of why? It even is like this pattern of, oh, maybe I deserved that. Like, then there's like this carrying on, even though the damage wasn't ever really healed, but that you learn. When I say you, I mean me or whoever's listening. You, us. There's a pattern that's learned of just dealing with that type of stuff happening, where it's like toughens you up, but that it's still like it's showing that it's creating a kind of an awkward walk. That's like compensation, like it just gets ignored, and it's part of the gait now. It's how we walk. It's showing and explaining that this is vibrational rhythm, like it's sending a pulse. The way that walking kind of imbalance is a pulse vibration imprint in the field of everything around me. And it's showing like even well, kids, my kids. So hesitation is glitchy, and I think feel that like kadum, 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 like it's a like something trying to start. But it's just continuing to turn over. Mm. Right. It's actually making me hold my breath, I just realized. It's really uncomfortable for me. I don't know how you feel right now, but if you're sensing there's some discomfort, just allow it to come up and breathe. And it's creating like tension even in my shoulders. This glitchiness. So frustrating. But I'm going to ask again, let's kind of go into these energetic patterns. I mean, yeah, it's like the spirit is so free and fluid and graceful, and there's such an awkwardness in the body when we're trying to just go through our lives even. And I do find like admiring the dancer body and the gracefulness, the strength, and but lightness. And so I think I've been, trying to stabilize these movements. In practice, like with yoga and just free dancing, letting the body lead movements and exercises, so it's not so boring. Spontaneous freedom in the knees, right? So I find that there's more flow happening and more energy moving when there's no hesitation to let my body do those things. And so it gets damaging when we just dredge forward and do stuff like we have to do this because it's good for me. I have to do my yoga. I have to do yoga. I have to go for a walk. I have to do strength training. Versus playful spontaneity is fun and dancing. And the point is that there's more accomplished in that way of going about it than with this regiment of oh yeah, it's like that's glitchy because it gets old after a while when we get like that with ourselves. I do this with myself even, and you get like demanding about it. It's got to be this way. The pattern is rigid. The patterns get rigid, and so this knee is has developed these patterns over time after getting so many kicks in, like the world, life, stress, knocks in the left knee, and it kind of buckles the body underneath itself. Like, so it's this constant like catching oneself, and so where does that come from? Well, there's patterns of trying and practicing and getting to a certain point and then getting totally collapsed again and giving up and not wanting to start over. And that is the old pattern. So it's just asking me to become aware of when I start feeling that way. When I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stay home. Probably should just stay home. It's totally more comfortable, my space around me. I don't. So when those situations come up, it's saying, is this the pattern? Are you hesitating to say yes to growth? So it's like, check it, give it space before it's just saying no and be like, I'm not into that. No, I can't handle that. I'm not, that's out of my zone. Space before rejecting something. It's like being open to actually experiencing different things. It's changing, being open to changing the whole parameters of what's safe. Expanding my sense of safety. So it's like showing me a memory. My Biofield is showing me a memory on the playground as a kid, and just kind of all through elementary school. Even, yeah, my very first experiences of being kind of, that's like your first, outside of your family, going to school is your one of your primary experiences of relating to the other people in the world. And I really picked up on a lot of fears in school. I didn't want to change schools because it was new people. Had to redo. I remember when we moved, and I was like 5, 6, and going to a new school was, I just remember like emotionally feeling so disconnected and upset. Like I would really just not belong. The knees. Yeah, just trying to find balance of myself and the world and my who. Yeah, there's so much I can go into, but I'm just getting into the energy of it and tuning it. This tone is actually changing as I'm talking and connecting with this pattern. And in the recording, you'll hear the details more about what was brought up, but and how this is such an important thing that I'm working on right now in this point of my life. So what are your knees telling you? Is there spontaneity and freedom there? Are they buckling in? Are they bowed out? That would be interesting. But there's a fluidity happening in the knees for sure. And dancing helps a lot to open the knees. Just doing basic movements, body mind exercises. The exercise is kind of an icky word. What is this? Body mind conversations and movements. Knees are, I mean, it's really just like all about this dancing in life. And this is just adjusting the awareness of yourself in the moment and recognizing adjusting myself in the moment, having an awareness of this pattern and letting that come to the present and say, I don't really need to hesitate. I can discern and take time to make decisions, but there's a difference. Because a hesitation actually has a back and forth rhythmic oscillation that's not going anywhere. It just stays in this pattern. It's like an off, out of sync step. In the music. Like, oh, there's a beat out of rhythm there. What is that? Something's dropping off in the backbeat. Healthy, squishy, fluid, open knees that are supportive and bendable but strong. Showing me like the willow, just deep roots and bendy branches. Like it just has that ability. There's so much information. We could spend all day doing this. But I like the sound that I'm getting right now. And I've already did do some work in the records actually with this adjustment. But as is the case with this type of stuff, it's not a one-off thing, right? Like it's just opening. Today was an opening. I'm like, what? Hesitation. And I kind of knew it was there, but it's really, you know. And so now I can do this tuning. I can continue in the process of becoming more self-aware about this pattern. And I'm no doubt going to have opportunity now presented to me of like, here's something coming your way. It's like coming down the river. You can bring it in. Yes, no, but we're not doing this. Yes, no, I don't know. Wait, maybe, is it for me? Is it not for me? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? It's so glitchy. Becomes off center. And so I'm going to practice like with a new awareness, sensing my response to what's coming for, what's coming. Do you want to dance with this? Is this a good song? You want to dance to it? No, not really my song. Or like, you want to dance? And it's like, yeah, I want to dance. But not any like, I don't know if I want to dance, but I don't know if I want to dance. Just go to dance, go dance. You want to do Biofield tuning? Go do Biofield tuning. Whatever. But don't be glitchy. All right. that's gonna be it. I think I have a lot more to say and talk about coming up. Getting into different topics. I'm reading lots of books. I've got vibrational medicine coming up and more to share with you from Electric Body, Electric Health. I'm reading this book right now, Anatomy of the Spirit. It's probably a familiar one. It's been around a while. I know Eileen mentions that she has really gleaned a lot of what she does from this book here. And so that's... I actually went to the back of her book and, or maybe it was in the course, the Practitioner course. There's a reference for all the books, all these books. And so I've got stacks of them over there. And I'll be reading them, writing about them, and making videos and sharing more stuff about tuning and how I'm playing around with it. And of course, if you're curious about experiencing Biofield tuning for yourself, I specialize in remote sessions. And unless you live in Southern Oregon, NorCal area, which in that case I would do in-home tunings. But remote sessions are amazing. They work as resonance in the ether. Everything is all connected and profound changes can happen in that type of a session, and you'll be in the comfort of your own home in your pajamas whatever. Just and that is one of the kind of the luxuries of a remote session is you're not driving anywhere, traveling. You have access to people all over the world, and you can be in the comfort of your own home and just really soak it all in and go straight to a Epsom salt bath or something like that to take you through the rest of your journey. And oh, Akashic Records readings also. If you're curious about that, you can send me a message and get in touch. I am kind of new to it. I'm curious and open about exploring different things that can happen with Akashic Records, different topics, inquiries. I've done dream readings recently, and it gets fascinating. So send me a message. Let me know if you're into it, and I will be with you again. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful weekend and enjoy this luscious moon in Taurus with Venus and all Jupiter and Uranus, and such a beautiful coming together in the sign of Taurus. I've been feeling so drawn to plants and nature and the earth lately, even more than normal. So soak it up. Talk to you soon. Bye bye. Hello, it is May 6th, 2024. I'm again out on a walk, and I would like to open the records, my records, and do a little bit of an energetic check-in. And also just wanted to share with you some stuff going on, just fun things mostly, flowers, herbs, and plants. Nature is calling me back home. And I consider myself kind of a earthy person. I've been homesteading and farming for the last 20 years. I feel pretty close to the land, taking care of plants and whatnot. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this new stream of information coming to me through the language of flowers and learning about the whole plant really, but their medicinal properties. And it invigorated this sort of long ago love and interest in plants that I was really starting to get connected to when I first, a young teenager, was really picking up the books and wanting to know more, but got disconnected from that path. And here I am now, and it's like a brand new world to me that was right there in front of my eyes this whole time. And I think I was so driven with a different type of interest in plants, and more just like, how do you do this? How do you grow food? It was more of a demand, a need to know based on survival. And this is more like playful and fun and subtle, even in that we can connect with energies of plants and their whole world and let them show us what it's all about. And that's why it feels like this calling, a calling to return home. And I bet some of you probably would be familiar with this. When you get that kind of inspiration to go to the ocean, if that's what you're needing, or go to the mountains, go to the river, go to these places where we can really get back to wholeness and attunement with the greater organism of the whole living earth that we are absolutely growing within, just like the rest of nature. And sometimes we forget that. Even us earthy, plant-centric types can get a little disconnected. And so, just sharing that with you, that there can be a renewal in these relationships, because these herbs and wild plants especially are going to have so much more that they can give, as far as like their composition, their minerals even. And you won't get that even maybe in the finest organic farm, who knows? But because it's not growing in the wild next to its native companion plants where it's able to draw up nutrients, and that soil has been like that, untouched for a long time. So these are some some interesting thoughts I've been having and playing around with flower essences and just bringing out all my books that I've actually accumulated on herbs and starting to get into it. I'm actually getting a medical astrology birth chart reading where she is able to help understand what herbs are specifically more appropriate for me based on these astrological components and dynamics, this alchemy. So that's fascinating as well, and I'll leave links to her website if you'd like to get a reading from her and probably do a little review of how that goes. But otherwise, I've been talking on for about 5 minutes, and what I really wanted to do was actually get into the Akashic Records. And I've only done this once before with the records, where I actually will just listen in for information on each of my chakras and go up through them and let the records show me where these imbalances are, and then actually ask them to modulate it and bring it back into harmony. And so lately, just been feeling like my body's been hit by a truck, even though I haven't really been doing much. Like, it's not like I've been working out super hard or anything extra special. It just feels like there's a lot going on that my body is actually picking up on and processing. And of course, there's a collective level and a personal level with all of this stuff. I know the sun just spouted off several X flares yesterday. I don't think there was a CME, but either way, these are radio bursts that come from the sun and they affect us. So if you were feeling stuff yesterday, whether it was total exhaustion or hyperactivity, you might consider like, hey, there's other things going on. It might not be just entirely you, but it is other stuff pinging us. And that's why we learn how to work with energy and sense your own energetic patterns and how to ground and be stable. Okay, so I'm going to open the records and then get into this reading. So the opening message is a book, a great big book in front of me, and it's opening, and the page is showing a schematic, a drawing, an image of the body in the Biofield. It shows a person sort of in a studying sort of room with spectacles, glasses, and very fine pointed tools. It's like a gentleman, and he's professional, studious, inquisitive, and he's very delicately pulling little pieces out of the biofield and looking at them under a microscope. So we're looking at the feet first under the microscope, and it's showing the activity of my feet really scattered, like they're trying to get away from something almost, or like the ground is really not comfortable for my feet to be on. Like I keep trying to put my toes down and touch, and then I keep pulling back because it's like, not that, not that, not that. So I'm taking some deep breaths and actually starting to feel some tingly activity on the bottoms of my feet. I am out for a walk and I have shoes on, but I do sense there's more connection coming into the bottoms of my feet as I'm even just bringing awareness to it. This is reminding me of kind of an energy thing I've been sensing lately in my calves, my shins actually, on the left side in particular. Like there's just like I'm being electrocuted on that part of my body. It's a really kind of isolated point, and I almost like nerves. But it feels like it's like I'm not able to really ground. Why is that? Why can't I ground? Well, it's showing a foot bath. I have this, I bought a foot bath and I have not used it. Why is it still sitting in my bathroom, totally unused? I don't know. So let's explore that. I think that's a good message for the feet. And so let's see what's going on next. You know, the records, the guardians of the records, the energy of it itself seems to have a sense of humor, just like spirit or God, or like there's always this layer of humor. So I'm like, what's next? And the guy that's doing the work with the microscope, he turns around and looks at me and just kind of winks at me with his left eye. He's like, this is fun. Yes, let's look at what's next. And so we're at the knees, and he's pulled off, it's like with tweezers, he's like operating doctor or whatever, pulls off this little piece on the knee and looks at it, and it's like black, like it's lifeless, no, not energy in it, and he taps it and flicks it a little bit, like, and then he gets the right knee and he pulls a piece off of that, and it's like white and brilliant and white and glowing, like the life force is in it. Okay, so the left knee, the little piece of the lifeless knee, it's just showing no energy going through there. Looking at it under the microscope, and it's like, okay, there's some stuff on the surface, kind of getting that out of the way. Still looking for what's going on in there. It's like darkness, and he's peering into the darkness of that place of the knee. And it's actually going deep. It goes deep, and then he's showing how it's connecting to the outer edge of my biofield. He's saying it's a deep one. It goes way out. So I'm going to be direct here and say, well, what is this specific energetic pattern of imbalance that is coming off the left knee? Where is the root? Where does this go? And also, what is the pattern? So immediately the word is hesitation, reluctance, insecurity. I don't know about the next step. I don't know about leaving this place that I'm in and venturing out. And I have this tendency in my life, and it's very inhibiting at times, and I think it's preventing me from seeing a lot of things, adventures, being open to meeting new people, and just being in general more open to life. I've kind of done more work to conceal myself and protect myself and stay sort of nestled within my worlds. So it's speaking to my hesitations. I'm asking, okay, that's the pattern. Where's the root? Where does this go back? Where did it originate from? And I'm seeing a close-up visual so far of a bunch of gravel and rock, and there's like a pickaxe, and it keeps hitting the rocks, repeating this sort of light scraping, hitting into this gravel. So it's showing there's a body under there in the gravel, but it's actually showing that the body remains buried, but these spirits keep coming up out of the ground and walking away. And then another one rises up from the body and stands up and walks away. And the pickaxe is continuing to kind of work on, it's not even moving the rocks away, it's almost just like knocking on the ground and showing all of these emergences that, what does this mean? What is this showing me? Like the one, it's kind of getting to the root. It's been passed through so many generations, and I think that's the symbolism here, is it's going back. So eventually we've kind of revealed the buried image, and it's a black person, not a black like African American, but the color like deep black, like an onyx stone, and it's like a statue under there. It is a statue made out of stone. It's totally, and it pulled back from that and gave me the image of the earth, but then the earth became the same material as the statue, this black onyx, and it pulled back, and I felt the perception or perspective of being out and looking at the earth while it was still forming in its new, and there was hesitation about my journeys in the world, in the planet, like from the beginning. There was a sensation of, I don't know about this. That's wild. I'm gonna ask more about that. So I'm like asking, are you telling me that my soul was hesitant from the very beginning, and that hesitation is still lingering and informing me in this present moment? And so the answer is yes, absolutely. And it's become very much revolving around fear of the world. And this is such the crux of what I'm dealing with right now. So I'm going to ask how I can modulate this, ask them to modulate it in my field, and see what comes of this. So I'm kind of getting into the feelings I've had over my life and of different situations, memories coming back, growing up as a child, just very insecure about everything, really. I didn't like going to amusement parks, being around all those people as a young child. I didn't like going on the rides. They terrified me and scared me. But it was so what everybody else was doing. It would be expected to be fun. You know, if your parents like spend all this money and take you to Disneyland and you're just in total freeze because you don't want to go on the super fast roller coasters. This is really bringing up that, and I've probably hesitated and held back most of my life. The tendency, is to do that. And so it's bringing awareness to these patterns and asking me a very important question here. So, the question is, do you want to exhaust your nervous system and the power available to me? They're asking me, do you want to exhaust your nervous system this way? Is this how you want to use what it's all come up to this point? All these previous lives, and we're going to now know about this pattern. Are you wanting it to destroy you through your nervous system? So I can be wise and discerning, but hesitation is rooted in fear. Okay, so I'm back in the study room with this gentleman in the microscope, and he's now kind of working on stitching things back together here. And it's actually showing kind of like rainbow ribbon being kind of like zipping up from the feet to the knees. So I'm asking, what is next? What else needs to be modulated in my field as we move, kind of expecting to go up through the chakras? But he took this ribbon and he's continuing to sew it up through the central channel and kind of working all the way through to the crown, and saying, and kept pointing back to the left knee and saying that's the main message, the main adjustment, the priority. And so I respect that, and we'll leave it at that. I'll ask if there's any more closing messages or visuals to go with this reading. So the man turns around and faces me, and the face actually becomes my dad, who is in the spirit world. And this is what he says. He says, Shauna, you've got it all. You have everything. There's nothing holding you back. You're clear to go. This is so interesting to me. I can keep asking, well, what, go where? And he's like, yeah, just fly, radiate, And he points to the book and points to the Biofield. He's like, look, right there. He gets a little annoyed almost, and it's like, all right, see you later. He turns around, and he's studying about something else, which is very much like him, to always be in focused concentration and study. And so he kind of turned back around and went back to peering into whatever he was doing before. So it goes. So that's a beautiful reading. Always a pleasure to open the records and let it flow, without hesitation, of course. So that's a message for you all as well. Where are you hesitating in your life and not going through doors or opening new pathways because of hesitation, which we will root it out, is based on fears holding back energy, which gets stuck in the body and makes us sick. So thanks for listening. Thanks for being with me, listening to all this. It's 21 minutes in. And of course I will say, if you are curious yourself about Akashic Records, your records, you have some piercing unanswered questions, please do reach out to me. I love doing this work, and I would love to connect with other people who are just as curious and open about it as I am. So reach out. I'm pretty chill and easy to get a hold of. Okay. Have a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend, lovely new moon in Taurus, and I will be with you again soon.